Good evening, Bula Vinaka and Namaste. You're watching Fijivillage Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. This week, as promised, we are focusing on the issue of drugs. We've had several shows on drugs. We highlighted many concerns and even had shows outside of the studio, going to safe houses to talk to people who have been taking drugs, the real situation on the ground over the past 2 years. Today we have the acting director of the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council, Mr. Josua Naisele, in studio, who will be answering the questions sent by you and of course the questions that people are asking, real issues that are affecting our children in schools. So Mr. Naisele, thank you very much for coming on Straight Talk.
Bulvinaka Vijay and Bulvinaka viewers who are tuning into this program, thank you for the invite.
The statistics from schools on substance abuse and just offences in general is getting quite concerning. If you can start off by telling us in a comparative analysis where we are at the moment.
Thank you, Vijay. For drugs, in the last 3 years, we've seen an increase in cases that are reported from school. So like in 2021, we have 2,800 cases, in 2022, 2,700, and 2023, it went up to 3,500. So like I said, if we look at this in percentage, where with the number of students that are in school, it's less than 2% of the numbers. Yeah? But the concern here is the increase. So some of the trend that we are seeing right now, the increase in female students who are using drugs, marijuana especially, and also we've also had reports of primary school students who are also using marijuana and also dealing it in school. The concern is that when they're in possession, sometimes they can be tempted to even use it, and the danger if they become if they like the taste, for example, and they can become addicted to it and abuse it. And they are students, and their focus should be on their learning and achieving their goal. So that's the reason why we are really concerned about the increasing number. We do not know about this year, or the number that we are going to collect this year. But that is on drugs. On other cases, like on sex-related offenses, 2021 we have 800 cases, 2022 900 cases, 2023 1,000 cases. So a kind of increase also in sex-related offenses. And on social media, interestingly, this is another issue, social media abuse. We have 2021 there were only 100 cases, 2022 1,000 cases, and 2023 we have 1,400 cases. So there is a trend there in for those three types of offences that are happening in school. And when we look at the violence, surprisingly, 2021 23,400, and 2022 25,000. Last year it went down to 6,000. So how we collect this data from school, each school that send us the data every year. It's a kind of survey that we normally conduct to try and gauge what is actually happening in the school level, at the school level. The violence before 2023, it was actually spiking, going right up. And one trend that we have been seeing before it came down to 23, there were more violent cases in primary school than in secondary school. So the big concern there is that if the students are not, if there is no proper intervention program, these primary school students, they will come to secondary, and they will become young people. They can, they'll become parents later on. So the worrying thing there, how best we can try and intervene and try to help the students in their character development. Because I believe these are the things that sometimes the parents, they do not know that the children are doing this in school. We come from families and we are taught values, and our parents normally remind us on the good things that we should always follow. But when they enter different environments, sometimes they pick up values from these other people, the people from this different environment. On other issues, Other issues, this is referring to dropouts, FAS, suspension, truancy, attempted suicide, romantic relationship. We have 2021, we have 5,000 cases. 2022, 3,500, going down. And 2023, it went up again to 4,100 cases. So we are trying to gauge the attendance of students. How many have been FAS? How many have dropped out of school? And romantic relationship, that's another issue that is coming in school. And we have been collecting all this data just to at our level. We use this to try and target the district and the schools that have reported this the data, so that we can do programs, special programs to them, awareness training. So the training that we are doing is not only for the teachers. We are changing our strategy now to try to target the students themselves, to try and help them, empowering them with character development, decision making, problem solving, peer pressure, because these are the things that they go through, and how to protect themselves when they encounter these kind of things from their friends or even from other people. Because most of the time we are blaming the parents. The parents have a role to play, but sometimes they are running out of options on how can I help my child. So we run a parental program also when we go to the communities during our awareness program, just to help them on how they can connect well with their children. Because I believe when sometimes we are together in the family, the parents and the children, there is disconnection. They are not connecting. If I always tell the parents, if your child is coming straight to you and share with you what they are going through, you're a good parent. If they are hiding things from you and sharing it to their friends or to other people, that means there's something wrong with your relationship at home. I believe that is one of the main important things, paying attention to your child and accept them. They make mistakes, but it's important for you not to judge them or to criticize them. Help them in improving their life, because they still need our support, because they are still in primary and secondary school. And also show affection to them. Sometimes we use this term in school. Your child is an attention seeker. If he's an attention seeker in school, that means he's not getting the attention at home. So we need to help our parents in that area.
Thank you, Mr. Naisele. And just going through the statistics, you said 3,500 cases. That's a dramatic increase from about 2,500 the previous year, right, in terms of substance abuse within the school environment. Concerning that it starts from primary, that going to secondary, now we even finding methamphetamine in schools?
Well, we've had about 4 cases last year. That was the first time. And in previous years, it's only marijuana is the one that is being reported from school. So the concern now is the 4 cases, they are all from secondary schools. So if that is happening in school, that means this thing is slowly coming in. And the school at the moment, we have the policies that are in place to help the teachers, but the students, they have various ways of trying to conceal this kind of drugs when they're coming in. Some schools, they are doing spot check, but not all schools are doing that. Only some.
Do you think schools should do spot checks? The Prime Minister said it should be done.
We are thinking of coming up with a policy just to safeguard the teachers. There's a plan in place with the ministry on to have a spot check policy. Maybe we together in the behavior management policy or the child protection policy to ensure that students are safe and also the teachers are safe. Because it's only some schools are doing it. If that is coming from the government, but I believe that is one way forward, because if there is no proper policy in place, then the student can see the gap and continue to bring this kind of things in school.
So that's something being addressed urgently?
We are thinking of doing it.
Yeah. Issue in relation to, you talked about sex-related offences, yeah, increased to 1,000. What is the breakdown of sex-related offences for schools? What type of offences fall under sex-related offences when it comes to your statistics?
This include sexual harassment, poking, common one is poking, and attempted rape, and also rape, and teenage pregnancy. So when I said rape, there are some cases, there are reports that have been received where students actually being sexually assaulted in the school compound, and that is also a concern on their safety when they're in school. And attempted rape and also sexual harassment is common, together with booking, and also teenage pregnancies coming in also being reported.
You talked about social media as well.
Yeah.
I had a question because I saw a new statistic that was going up when I was looking at your statistics, which includes cyberbullying, right, and the other social media and online related offences. How are you faring with that? How are you dealing with that?
On all cyberbullying cases, if they are reported, the teachers, we've been reminding teachers, they need to report or even let the parents report it to the nearest police station. Because we work closely with the cybercrime unit of the police and also the Online Safety Commission in addressing that. There were the cases that we have attended before. When it is reported to us, we ask the parents, lodge a formal complaint to the police, and then bring the police report number so that we can follow up with the cybercrime unit and also the online safety. But the concern is how the concern from the parents usually how do they put that down, because sometimes the thing stays for some time on the social media platform or anything that has been posted up. We always tell them that the cybercrime unit and online safety they can assist in that. So any case of cyberbullying that happened in school, parents are informed. They need to lodge a formal complaint with the police, and then this thing normally traumatizes students. So what we normally do, we normally come in and provide counseling support to the students, especially the victims.
My question in relation to methamphetamine, which you're saying now you're finding it in schools, there have also been reports that some parents are getting their children to even take the drugs to school to sell it in school.
The report, Vijay, was reported by the police, because for us the common one that is normally found in school, we don't really know whether the parents are involved or just the students. It's a cigarette and cannabis, marijuana. So in some cases, some of the students, they may be just looking for, if they are not given pocket money. But the involvement of parents, I am not really sure about that, but the cases that we have reported to us regarding students dealing drugs in school, we have not come across any case on parents' involvement, but it could be from the police, because especially if meth is involved, if their report is lodged with them and then they follow up with those reported. But we do not rule out on the possibility of that if because the situation at the moment in our country, some families may need money, maybe because of the poverty and other social issues affecting the families. They can resort to that kind of thing. But for us, the ones that have been reported to us, it's mostly the students that they need money to buy something. That's the reason why they are doing that. They're selling those kind of drugs in school.
My question also, younger people, there's a lot of questions that were sent about this. That how are we dealing with the children in school now compared to maybe 20 years ago? Because there's a lot of concern about lack of discipline. There's a lot of concern about children not turning up to school. There's a lot of concern about children even not turning up to school for exams. And there's a lot of concern about even parents not coming in for any of the school meetings. How are we dealing with that? Because prior to this, there was more investment in the child based on school fees being paid by the parents as well. Things have changed now. And how are we dealing with to make sure that we're still producing good results for all our children who are going to school?
Vijay, I believe the advent of the country is developing, and the advent of capitalism. Parents, they would like both of them to work, and in the past usually only one works, but now both parents are working, and even some they are going overseas in the government program that is currently going in. And the less time you spend with your child, it may have some kind of effect on the child development, and in terms of discipline. And number two, the way we address the behavioral problem. Like in the past, we were given corporal punishment. If you do something wrong in school, and if it goes home, we receive another set of corporal punishment from home. So the students, they tend to be well behaved in that manner. But now the situation right now, there is no corporal punishment. The question is what can replace corporal punishment? So for us, what we are doing, we are trying to strengthen this counseling and the mentoring program in school to train the teachers in counseling skill on how to address the behavior of students. That's one way. And also the mentoring program, we also have a mentoring program that also run in school. We're engaging retired teachers on how to assist the students in the typical behavior, disrespect, for example. And also educational, sometimes some students, the reason why they are misbehaving because we have cases of students who are struggling readers. Yeah, when they struggle to read, when they don't know how to read well, and when the teacher does not read and just continue with the ones that already know how to read, they feel out of the situation. So sometimes they run away from school and they do other things. Yeah? I believe the most important thing over here is what is it that we can put in place to replace corporal punishment, for example. And now, because the teachers, they know if they inflict corporal punishment in school, they can be suspended or even terminated. So what can replace that? So at home, what are the ways in which we can do it at home to try and help our children in their, addressing their behavior? So like I was saying before, on how well you can get close to your child. How much time do you spend with him or her at home?
You're watching Fiji Village Street Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. We'll be back after this break.
Oh my gosh! Oh, what's in the box?
You're probably wondering, what's in the box? Well, if you must know, it's actually me. Before you call the police, I'm actually an app. The all-new Fiji Village app. Here's an update. See what I did there? I gave you an update. What's new? Well, for starters, I look different. My new layout also comes with stories if you're looking for something short and sweet. I will bring you the latest news on the dot so you stay updated. You're welcome. You don't have to go anywhere for content because I bring the content to you. Not only can you listen to your favorite radio stations, you can also watch online video content. Which reminds me, do you love sports? Well, guess what? With the Fiji Village app, you can stay up to date with your favorite sports and scoreboards, no matter where you are. Your #1 news website just got better with an app. Download and get updated now.
Breakfast with Budana Penny and Tifa. Good yanders.
It's 7:21 and it's Turned Up Tuesday. Turn
Woo,
up.
woo.
Good youngers, let's go. Hey! Hi! We just wanted to take this moment to say a big binakabakalibu.
For making us the #1 radio station in Fiji.
Your sport means the world to us.
Thank you for listening in day after day.
I like listening to Breakfast on FM 96. I love all the songs that they play, and FM 96 is one.
We love FM 96.
FM 96. Our #1.
One thing that draws me to FM 96 is that the content is relatable. They do play all the music that I love.
Part of FM 96 is listening to Penny the Penny Stars. And they make fun about my forehead because it shines brighter than the day.
And you have made us a part of your daily routine.
And we couldn't be more grateful.
Because you make what we do worth it.
Thank you for making us #1 in Fiji!
Welcome back. You're watching Fiji Village Street Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Our guest tonight is the Acting Director of the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council, Mr. Josua Naisele, and we're talking about student offences in schools, drug-related offences, sex-related offences, other matters that the schools are grappling with. Now, the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council falls under the Ministry of Education. A big role to play, and we had the major Ministry of Home Affairs organized responding to illicit drugs symposium last week, where a lot of comments were made, and even from people like the Archbishop, His Grace Peter Lloyd Chong, we had the Home Affairs Minister, P.O.T. Kundundwa, we had Attorney General, Shiromi Turanga, we had many other stakeholders. One of the issues that kept coming out was that we need to have a Fiji-based solution in the way we are dealing with this issue. And with the younger generation, we need to ensure that that solution is working. As you said, Mr. Naisele, if not, we will have a bigger problem coming in the coming years. What is being done? What are we strategically doing to make sure that happens?
Naka Vijay, in that the drug symposium that was held last week, there were a few ideas that was suggested and also being discussed. That is, the number one is the social capital. Social capital refers to what I define. When I define that, I'm just talking about the potential that each and every one of us have. We have our talents, we have our own skills and abilities, especially our children, and focusing more on the positive qualities of an individual. Because most of the time when a student does something wrong, we are focusing more on the negative behavior. We fail to realize that that child has a lot of positive qualities. So the mindset to be changed in how we can lift up or motivate the social capital of our children or even our families to focus more on the positive qualities of a family, of the parents and also of the children. And then we also talk about the social analysis. So one of the gaps that we have identified last week is the reliable data that for the nation. The data that I'm sharing is just from the school. So we are not really sure of what is the status of drug use in the nation right now. So that is one area that we'll be working together with the Ministry of Home Affairs and also with UNODC and FNU to try and come up with a survey or even a research just to find out the level of drug use and also what type of drugs are being abused more. We've been hearing the police, they have their own data, and also the Ministry of Health. But it will be good to have a reliable baseline data so that all stakeholders can work together in planning out on what are the best things that can be done, which area in Fiji. Number three is the involvement of the what I term the organizations that have influence in the society, like the Vanua and also the faith-based organization. So the Vanua, the use of the social structure in the Vanua, for example, to try and help the parents and also the children in the different villages and different communities. What is the Vanua doing? What can the Vanua do? What can the Matangali do? What can the Tokotoka do? And also the families, before we come to the families. And of course the faith-based. I know that in Fiji, being a religious country, that is one thing that we need to tap on how the program that can come up with this faith-based organization on how to divert the attention of the young people to focus more in their spiritual development and not so much on drugs, for example. I believe we have what it takes to try and recover this issue of drugs that plague the country based on what is being reported. And of course the government. One thing that I noted, the government is kind of committed to this because they're talking about it. Even the Prime Minister is talking about it, even the ministers, even in Parliament. And they're asking question, how can we address this? So the government is talking about it and how best we can, the involvement of the police. They were also talking about the involvement of military to come and support the policemen, the police in their work. And of course our partners and also the stakeholders that are out there, they also play an important role because they touch base with the common people on the ground on how best and how well we can support them in doing awareness and also helping out the students out there and also parents.
There's one issue that keeps coming up, that government can do so much, the traditional leaders can do so much, the different sectors can do so much, the schools can do so much. But if the home front is not, does not have a strong foundation, we will have issues. And there's some people who are saying there's surveys that show that if people are spending more time outside the house than with their children, that's where the neglect and other issues start coming up. Have you started seeing that with, as you said, with the changing of times that is happening more?
Yes, I believe that is so. In the home front, I believe the parents, how do they spend time with their children? And when they spend time with their children, what do they talk about? Sometimes we are together in the family, but we are on our phones, different phones, for example. And there is no really contact or quality time with the children to discuss what happened to them on the day when they come back from school. I believe the parents, they really need a lot of help and the guidance in terms of providing the support that is needed, especially in the urban areas. What we are seeing in the rural areas, they seem to be, strong in terms of the children and supporting the children. But in urban areas, because most of the parents are working, some of them they're coming in late. You're talking about coming late, caught up in the traffic in the afternoon. And sometimes when they arrive, the children are already sleeping. So the contact time is very important. And how best we can help the parents on how they can spend more time with their children at home, because I believe that is one thing that we can invest in for the parents to try and invest more time with their children at home.
How much resources have you been given? We see this problem, it did not just spring up on us all of a sudden. These issues were growing. We know that us as the media, I for one was asking many questions, and at one stage the full picture was not being given in terms of statistics, which we're still trying to get. More statistics are coming out, but the real situation on the ground. We didn't just wake up one morning and meth is widespread in the country, or meth is being cooked in even, it's been suggested in out in the Maritime Islands. How have you been affected in the past 15, 16 years or so?
Vijay, I believe that is one area that we will need to strengthen if we need to provide the proper support to the parents. I believe during COVID, all ministries, they've suffered the budget reduction, and our unit also went through that. But I believe with more resources, personnel, in our unit there are only 10 of us there. So we are kind of looking after also, of course, looking after all the whole country, something like that. We will need more resources, more budget support, and also personnel in terms of counselors and also officers that can provide awareness to the communities. Because what we are seeing, our unit is actually responsible for two areas, demand and also the harm reduction. Demand in terms of training and awareness, and harm in terms of counseling and also mentoring support for the students. So what we are trying to do now is try to be proactive in getting the students to be empowered with the right knowledge on how they can look after, make right choices in life. So intervention, when reports are coming in, then we go and try and provide support to the students. But I believe that is one area that we have already made our submission for next financial year in our budget, and hoping for government support in terms of our budget and also our resources.
Yeah, I'm surprised that during COVID your budget was reduced, because statistics show globally that there were more cases of mental health issues during and after COVID, where people were then trying to cope. Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, especially after COVID. That's one thing that we also conduct a survey after COVID just to check on the status of mental health of students. Yes, it's there. The students were affected. Some of them, they do not want to come back to school. Some they went to work. Some they eloped. Some they got pregnant, and some they just lose interest in coming to school. Some when they come to school, they cause more problems in school, creating a lot of headache to the teachers. Those are all result of mental health. So when we talk about drugs, it is a mental health problem, because students, they go through different uses. Some they go through abusive environment, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, exploitation, neglect. And when they go through this, sometimes they experience, not sometimes, but they experience a negative emotion. And negative emotion, they normally drive behaviors. So when somebody go into drugs, sometimes it's the negative emotion that is pushing them to go into that. Some of them, some they're using it as a coping skill to mask the pain that they are going through. And of course, during COVID, it like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but most of the people, their mental health is actually affected. Imagine a family where the parents have been asked to, their employment being terminated. That affects the whole family. And if they have to relocate, looking for
children left on their own.
Yes, left on their own.
Archbishop Chong also highlighted when he was much younger, he was going to a reggae concert, and his friends, when you may remember that story, said, let's go and try some drugs and enjoy the concert. And his response was that I don't want to take something to find out how it makes me feel. It's like I don't want to, I know if I get a car and smash it into a pole, I know what will happen to me. I will get hurt, or I'll get injured. How are you using these types of aspects to ensure, because young people, there's some questions here about young people will always try to experiment, or will always try to rebel. So what are some of the methods being used to ensure that they are not experimenting with something where they could end up in big trouble?
Yes, that is always a challenge, because when we go and tell them, if you do this, these are the consequences. Yeah. But we are using that, and also we are also engaging some of the survivors, drug survivors, like Kalesi, Walatambu. And we are working, currently we are working with one media organization on trying to get some of these survivors, so that we can record the story and share it with the students, so that what they've been through and how they change it. Because we've seen some of the survivors, they have good families now. So their story is very important to be shared to young people, because they went through that. And like I said, the other one is like what Archbishop Josua was saying. How can I can make the right choice now? By just what you just shared with me, I can make the right choice now not to do drugs, because these are the things that can happen to me. So there are always two sides. We can tell them not to do it, or somebody to come and share their stories, so that it can motivate them not to do it.
I know, Mr. Naisele, you said you have 10 people. You look after the whole of the country in terms of working out strategies and working with other stakeholders, in making sure that we are proactively working on things, but now things are sort of at a high speed, and more cases are being found. You are based in Delainamasi, in Nasinu. You put there after the government decided that you need to be there. What more do you need to ensure that we really enhance work that you are doing for the children of this country?
Vijay, apart from the 10 of the officers that are there, we also have our 30 mentors, student mentors that are out there in all the districts. They also visit the school on a weekly basis, attending to student needs, which have been identified by the head of school. One of the things that we are thinking is to set up our office in each of the division, one in the west and one in the north, and maybe one in the east, maybe in Lebuka or even in Kandap. Because we see the need, for example, some of the cases of drugs, if they refer to us from Bonoliu, we have to go to Bonoliu and attend to that case. So the plan now is to try to set up the drug office, our unit, Nazag unit, in the different divisions, so that people can easily access our service in terms of counseling and also awareness. So for that we will be making budget submission most probably next year. Then we will try and do that, and also to increase the number of people who can work in our unit, especially the counselors. Because in counseling, if you're asking why counseling, because counseling offers an opportunity for the child to share their story, and in most cases, once the child is given that space, the counseling says even before you come up with a solution, half of the problem is already solved, because somebody is willing to listen to them and understand them. That is one technique that we're actually currently doing now, because we have a lot of success story on students that are brought in for counseling. They actually change, and their parents were so happy because of the intervention that was made. And that is one message to the parents. Sometimes we have our students, we have our own children, very hard for us to change. You can always bring them in. So the plan now is to try to expand our unit and to have our unit in the main divisions, so that the service can also be provided, and also increase the number of personnel.
That is a very good point, to take the service to the people.
Yes.
Now, there's some parents who have sent questions, and it may be even some teachers. They're raising the issue of indiscipline of students in class, even some swearing at the teachers, and some even walking out of the class as and when they like. You definitely have cases like that. What is being done to do this? Because it seems like the teacher is out of control when these things are happening.
Yes. We always feel sorry for the teachers, because sometimes the behavior of the students is really very challenging. So what we normally tell the head of school, if the unruly students are there, they intervene. If the child bring in the parents, if the child still does not change, you have to refer the student for counseling. Let us come in and provide the service to provide to try and help the child. I believe that is one area, because apart from that, because the teaching cannot flow very well if the students are indisciplined in the class. So head of school, you intervene from your level, in the school level. If you intervene, calling the parents, talk to the parents and talk to them on how well they can support. If that does not, if that is not successful, you can always refer the child for further help.
The other question is about suspension and expulsion. Back in the day, it was clear that no child would want to be suspended or expelled from school and go back home and say this is what has happened, because then the parent would say, they would really be concerned about why that happened. There's an issue being raised that it has gone into the direction now where the expulsion may not be considered. Can you state whether this policy has been revised again?
On expulsion, that's the term that we're using now is FES, find another school.
Find another school.
Find another school. So the procedure that is normally followed in school, parents are called in, we provide internal counseling from the school, and then external counseling. Sometimes if the case is a serious one, grade 1, we normally, in the school context, we normally call grade 1, like illicit drugs or even sexual abuse or very violent, the child can be suspended. So suspended, we have to inform the parents, formal letters to be written to the parents, calling the parents in, and then discuss with their child will be suspended for this number of days. And sometimes if after that suspension the child still does not change, then a change of environment can be considered. Can be considered to relocate the child to another school sometimes they can change that. So the issue here, before we move the child, we have to try and address the issue that he or she is facing.
Not that you shifting the problem to another school.
We do not want that. We wanted to help the child while they are still in school, because otherwise it becomes a problem again to the new school that he or she is going to go to. So FES, what is actually happening, if we relocate, it has to be approved by the PS, the Permanent Secretary. So a lot of things has to be done first before the child is relocated to another new environment, a new school. That's a proper term that we normally use. So we are not using expulsion, so FES or even relocated to another new environment.
Before we go to break, there's some parents have asked, why can't we bring corporal punishment back? We know under the Constitution, corporal punishment is not allowed, but this is stressed that we are bringing in foreign methods to try to deal with the issue. Local-based method used to work before, and that was corporal punishment. What's your comments on that?
Vijay, I believe at the moment, even the government, even the policy of the ministry, the corporal punishment must not be inflicted on any of the students. So that's the reason why I'm saying discussing on what is the alternative. So intervention, behavior management skills to be taught to the teachers so that they can address it with the students, and also, like I said, counseling and mentoring. If mentoring support, if the student is misbehaving, continues misbehaving, in the counseling term, that the child is crying out for help, he needs help. So we have to identify what kind of help needs to be provided to him or her. But for corporal punishment, like in the policy of the ministry, all the teachers, they know that on the inflicting corporal punishment is not allowed.
And it's unconstitutional and illegal as well.
Right.
You're watching Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. We'll be back after this break.
Bigger, bolder, and better than ever.
Fiji Showcase 2024, 5th to 13th July at the Vodafone Arena, Suva.
Get ready
to be swept up in a whirlwind of international acts, mouth-watering cuisine, and the best shopping deals of the year.
Oh, the shopping! There's nothing like having everything under one roof.
Fiji Showcase 2024, 5th to 13th July.
Save the date! 9 days of pure delight awaits. Fiji Showcase 2024, 5th to 13th July at the Vodafone Arena, Suva.
See you there.
Wait, where am I?
Oh, you died, bro.
I'm dead? But why?
But that's what happens when you change your playlist when you're driving.
Crashed.
What? No, this can't be happening. I had so much left to do in life. All I do is stare at my phone because, you know, I'm Gen Z and we're all antisocial.
Oh.
And I wish I did so much. But by the way, do you guys have Wi-Fi up here?
This is why you should have listened to F96 Drive. Shouldn't let them play the music.
And you just drive.
No! I can't believe this is happening. It wasn't
when you're
even
done,
my car and I didn't have
hell is
car
that way,
insurance.
eh?
Wait, what?
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
Welcome back. You're watching Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Our guest for tonight is the Acting Director of the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council, Mr. Josua Naisele. We're talking a lot about what's happening in our schools, what's happening with our students, and what more can be done. Resources is one issue that comes to be paramount here if we are to do more and more effectively, and hopefully we can see those resources channeled through from this budget, which will be announced on June 28th by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Professor Biman Prasad. Mr. Naisele, we've had some people who have also sent questions, and they're just asking for assistance and advice. They say they have some of their children who have issues, discipline issues, including they believe may be related to drugs as well. Where can they go and who can they reach out to for assistance?
Now, Vijay, I can give our phone contact. Our phone contact is is 2234 180, 2234 180, 3394 180, 3394 180, and DG 7734 180.
There you go. Those are the numbers again, and we will be providing that within the show as well. 2234 180, 3394 180, or 7734 180 for those parents who are asking for assistance, mainly for counseling, in terms of specialized counseling to deal with issues. There's questions in relation to some policies. Questions have been sent, Mr. Naisele, on why the child protection policy, behavior management policy, and counseling policy in schools haven't been reviewed, despite the many new challenges concerning children that have come about over the years.
Vijay, I believe these policies, they were all reviewed in 2000, if I'm correct, 2019 to 2020, 2019. And it has to be reviewed after 3 years. 2019, 2021, 2022 should be reviewed in 2022. But we have the policy unit of the ministry that is dealing with that. And I might have to go and check again with them on the pending review, if it is to be reviewed or not, or when will the review be taking place? Because I believe the review that was done in 2019, even on the drug policy, we have included all these new drugs that are coming in, including meth, and we classified the legal drugs on how to handle that in school, and also the illegal drugs on how to handle them in school. But one new thing that is coming in now, but that the Bluetoothing, that one it has to go into the policy which is going to be amended. I believe the concern raised by the parent that is asking that is a genuine one, because we need to update ourselves with the current trend that is happening.
Let's talk about Bluetoothing and Chemsex. Ministry of Health has been talking about it, Drug-Free World Fiji, and the Fiji Police Force. These are two concerning issues where there's sharing of needles, usage of hard drugs, mainly methamphetamine, involving young people. Are you very concerned about what you're getting on the ground in relation to this?
I am very concerned, Vijay, because they are just saying young people. When they are saying young people or youth, some of our students can also, my worry is that some of our students can fall into that category. We did not have any reported case so far, but I've also heard it from them, from the police, and also from the Ministry of Health official on the existence of this. But the concern now is how I've already started talking to the school principal conference. I've shared this with the principal on the importance of monitoring in the school. And if they happen to find any syringe or any needle, syringe with needle together in the school compound, they need to take extra safety care on how to handle that, because of the danger of HIV and also other kinds of diseases. And one thing about our students that was highlighted by the Ministry of Health, the blood type. Some of them, they do not know that, some of them may not know that we have different blood types, and they are just injecting themselves, according to the Ministry of Health and the police, what they are saying. And that is one of the greatest danger that we are currently facing, the risk actually on how best we can inform our children on Bluetoothing, because they just have to stay away from those kind of things.
There's a certain level of denial among some in the society who's saying the situation is not as bad as it's made out to be. What's your message to those people who are watching this tonight?
They can be correct in a way because at the moment we do not have any proper database on what is actually happening on the ground. We're just hearing the report from the police and from the Ministry of Health. But being proactive, it'll be good. Whatever has been reported, just for us just to take precaution and find ways and means of ensuring that we protect our children. Because if there's going to be a drug survey or research and then we find that that is true, we already made steps, take steps on how to address that. So I believe even people may be skeptical of what has been reported, but it'll be good to always be proactive. Whenever we hear this kind of things coming up, we need to take steps, necessary steps to ensure that the students are protected.
Statistically, I think the most important statistic also is that this is actual reported official statistics by the Acting Commissioner of Police, who stated that every single day of the year they find a particular drug. They either are raiding and finding green or white drugs. So that's the reality of the situation on the ground, if you really look at it, because actual farms or places are being raided. And the concerning was that huge bust in Nandi, which has resulted in $2 billion worth of methamphetamine found, which people also have confirmed that leaked out to the members of the community. So based on that, while we wait for research, data, etc., as Mr. Naisele said, we should not be waiting for those numbers to confirm, because there's a lot of information out there which can help you. There's some comments here. There's a question on International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking Week celebrations in schools. And the person is saying it's more like an annual event held for the sake of it, and a means to collect statistics, maybe to display. No offense, if it really did work, why has the drug and substance abuse gotten out of control?
Vijay, I think that's a good question. The challenge that we are facing now is it's out of control because the students, they stay most of the time in the community. They only spend 8 hours in school. So we are doing our part in the school and trying to create awareness and helping them to make right choices. But when they are out there in the community, the teachers, we have no control over them. That is number one. And number two, the International Day Against Drug Abuse, the Diet Week, we are not only raising awareness on drugs alone. We are raising other issues that students are facing, like abuse, child abuse, social media, and sexual related cases, and also mental health and wellness. We are covering all those different issues because that's the only time we can do that in our school. But it would be good if we have the budget to try and do awareness of that, because that one of awareness will not be enough. But like I said, we all play our part. We are doing our part from the school. The teachers are doing their part, and the ministry and the government and other stakeholders. From the part of the community where the students spend most of the time, how can they ensure that the students are properly protected when they are out in the communities? But the way we're seeing it, it may be a program, but the students, they look forward to it because it's an opportunity for them to do awareness and to amongst themselves internally in their own schools, some in their classes.
Questions about, again, whether we are left behind. It was a major concern only around the capital city, where schools around the urban areas in the Central Division were of concern when this started spiking. But now it's spread to different parts of the country, including the west and north and maritime areas, because drugs like meth are also being found in the Northern Division as well.
Yeah.
The question that is being asked is, how quickly does government have to act to get you fully resourced, knowing that it's spreading out of where you're based now?
Hopefully in the next budget, we're hoping that the government can provide with the necessary budget so that we can go ahead and cover all those areas. Yeah? That is indeed, because according to the police, it is covering all over the country. In the north, we thought the north was safe. The west, the central, in the main urban centers. Yeah? And the risk over here, the people in the urban, they go to the rural. And some of them may take this kind of things and introduce it to the students in the rural. And we not only the government, we also have our partners that are also supporting us, technical support that are normally given by other organizations to try and help us in the work that we do. But it'll be good for the government to help us in our budget, if the budget is coming up in the next few months. That will really help us in the work that we already do.
A lot of people are saying talk should equate to action. So we need the action in terms of you expending. Even we on our show now, parents are contacting you for services that shows the need, what you're saying, and you wanting to be out there providing that service to ensure that you are proactive as well. With this government, you highlighted that they are talking, they're wanting to address issues. You've had 10 people. You've been in Delenamasi for some time. Were you being fully resourced? Were your requests being heard by the previous government?
Yes. Before the COVID, the budget was there. It's only when the COVID comes in, then the reduction in budget in all ministry, it also affected us. The support was also there in the previous government. But for this government, the coalition government, they have raised it to another level. That's what I've noticed. And everybody they are talking about in the opposition and also the government side and all other NGOs. Even some of these organizations, they are doing their own drug advertisement. I saw it in the TV the other day, and you can see the communities, the people, the organizations, they are taking ownership on how they can fully support the protection of our children and young people.
Why I ask that question? Because it is a national concern, and we also need to ensure that taxpayers' money, which the government has, is allocated in the right place. And if we had COVID and we had a major issue at hand which also affected many people mentally, that there was a danger already, you were already facing the danger with school out for so long and children stuck in their homes, based on what we saw, that there will be an increase in numbers, and we needed to be ready for that. So do you think that because you had some resource constraints, it affected you negatively?
In some way, yes. And also we also have a issue of staff turnover in our unit. And that is one thing that is also challenging us, staff turnover, people they move into other organizations. And also one of the big challenges that we are facing right now is our office caught fire in 2019, and we've been asking the government to repair. So it's 2024 now. We're hoping that...
so part of your office caught fire?
Yeah, caught fire.
And it's been left like that since 2019?
2019. So that's one thing that this current government, they have already allocated fund for it to be repaired. So if we want to expand we need to have a proper building there. So that's one thing. And we've been following up with the ministry on the quick repair of our building.
So you must be working in very trying circumstances, Mr. Naisele. You've got the whole country to look after. You've got 10 staff, and then your office got burnt, certain parts of our office, and not repaired until now. It's quite a lot of pressure you must be dealing with.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure.
And you believe that all of this can be fixed if just proper budgeting comes your way?
Yeah, that will be so.
Have you had discussions with the Ministry of Finance?
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Most probably the next financial year, they're going to
they realize the importance of the work you do?
Yes.
Now, issue in relation to the current level of funding and resources also, there's a lot of concern about bullying. Parents are also asking about what are actual programs in place in schools, because the bullying culture is going out of hand in some schools. There were reported cases in the boarding schools, the prominent boarding schools, and that was the only time it came out. It has been said that most of those reports have come out after someone has leaked videos of bullying on social media, and then people find out, and that what is being done proactively in all schools, because when we talk about children doing drugs and involved in substance abuse, they will also then that will also then result in bullying as well, bullying and threats. How are you dealing with that?
Now, Vijay, I believe all the schools, they have their own internal procedures of addressing those kind of issues, especially in boarding school and also in the day school. And if cases are coming up, then if the child is hurt, then like referring to the hospital and also involving the police, because it can be considered as a physical assault. So addressing it, the internal mechanism, like the perpetrators, they can be suspended or even find another school after all the necessary needs to be done. And of course the survivors or the victims of bullying, they normally go through counseling because of the trauma that they must have gone through. And that is in place in the school. So if any case like that, the parents, they just need to know that that support is there, especially for the bullying, the students and the victims. Support is there to be provided to their children if they are victims of bullying.
Mr. Naisele, as we finish off this show tonight, you have said about the real need for all stakeholders to work together, starting from the parents, to be involved, actively involved and positively involved in the lives of their children, then the school system, the vanua, the wider community, the family, and everybody involved, and the government to ensure that it plays its part. What is your message to the people watching out there as we finish up?
Naka Vijay, I believe starting first with our parents, our role in looking after our children, we never give up. Please don't give up on your children if they are indisciplined or if they are using drugs. The support system is in place to try and help your child. The only thing that you need to do is to try and reach out to our organization for help, especially if children are facing a lot of challenges. They are going through a different time because of what they experience in the different environment. Different environment means the home environment, the school environment, the community environment, their peer environment, and also the social media environment, the faith-based environment. So sometimes what we teach them at home, they forget about that and they pick up other values from their friends or from other different areas. We must never give up on our children. And number two is the importance of the support from the vanua. I plead to all the chiefs in the Turani Abusa, Maternity Kina, to all the Turani Koro, and also in all the villages all over Fiji. We need your support in ensuring that our children are protected. And also to the faith-based communities, faith-based organization, we have a role to play because the influence that you have in your churches or in your faith-based group can help develop a child positively. And of course the other NGOs that are there, our partners, we will also always need your support in ensuring that we protect our children. And of course our government, we thank the support that has been given by our government, and also never forgetting the media organization. They are the ones that get the message across to all the different communities and different levels. And that is my plea for this evening, for the support and working collaboration to ensure that we protect our young generation, because they are our future leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Naisele. And for those who would like to reach out to the National Substance Abuse Advisory Council and talk to the acting director or need support, as he has provided these numbers, I'll repeat those numbers again: 2234-180 or 3394-180 or the Digicel number 7734-180. That's your show for tonight. Until next week, have a great evening.